Hey guys, this is Jeff with the Tattooed Spirit. I'm back for part 2 of my quote-unquote unboxing of my own deck. That straight up rider weight deck that I colored with Sharpies. Some of the images are really cool because I love how I shaded them out. As I've mentioned many times on my comments, whenever you guys comment, it was the most meditative experience that I've had, was just pulling out the markers and just making sure these were exactly the way that I wanted them. You can see straight off the bat that with all the minor suits, I have the borders colored sort of to represent the element of that particular suit. We have this kind of silvery sort of air for the swords. We have water for the blue, blue for the water, red for this fire element of the wands, and of course the green of this earth, of this natural sense of being here with this pentacles or coin suit, I usually tend to call it. So, you know me, I just don't think I can get into just showing cards. I love watching other people's cards and seeing what kind of cool stuff Jennifer Ball always comes up with in her garage with all these wonderful, awesome, enthusiastic unboxings that she does. But I'd like to talk about these cards, how I'm passionate about them, how I love to talk about them, and it helps my clients understand kind of where I'm getting this information whenever I sort of talk about them in the way that I do. So if you would just pardon my blabbering, there's no way I can go about doing these cards without talking about them. I'd like to just take you through my particular deck of these wonderful, wonderful, wonderful tools of self-reflection and empowerment. All right, so we know that on this magician, we have in front of us all the tools that we need to get us to be able to know that we are co-creating this life with the forces of the universe, or nature, or God, or Buddha, Krishna, however you want us to subscribe, okay? We have these wonderful aces, which are all the base quality of each particular suit, all right? The thinkings, right? We have the feelings that, depending on what thoughts we choose to think, we're going to feel a certain way. We're going to do our life differently. This is a brand new way of doing something with a brand new result, this sense of being in the world, all right? Here we have number 2s. We have all of our 2s lined up. 2s are all about choices and balance and sort of coming together and coupling and options and all of these wonderful things. We have these swords of fear and anger, or fear and jealousy, however you want to look at it, that's holding you back. Look how uncomfortable that looks. Terrible, terrible. Here coming together with this wonderful emotion suit of like a nice partnership. Here this choice of making something new. What in the world am I going to do next? The action of doing, the fire of doing. And then here the sense of being in the world with that wonderful 2 of coins, with the most active dominant hand being the sense that you're doing, but also kind of keeping in your eye of what's sort of falling behind, thus those wonderful, glorious waves, all right? 3 is really just the intensity, the quality of the suit, which is why that 3 tends to strike the fear in the hearts of most people. But I got to tell you, it's really nice whenever you feel a lot of sorrow. It just tells you how much wonderful love that you're capable of feeling whenever that gets lost. The 3, right, the intensity of the the intensity of the emotions with this wonderful celebration. Who doesn't love to see the 3? Try to keep that in frame. Sorry guys, I got lost. I lost myself. Here we go right there. This is just literally active, just waiting to see what's next. The anticipation. Look at that, the active anticipation to see what's next. You know, you don't know what's in that left hand, what's coming down the pike, what's on that little boat down there. We don't know yet. We're just anticipating. And then this beautiful self-mastery. That's the intensity of this quality of being, is just being in the world, just doing it right, doing it to just pure perfection. I love those 3s. 4s, the structures, the foundations, how better way to better structure a new sense of thinking and being cognitive about your problems is just take your time to rest. What a wonderful suggestion from that card. How about this right there? How about that feeling of just missing something? How about that feeling of just there must be something else to complete this set? Ugh. That's that stalker card that was crushing me for months and months and months. How about this wonderful foundation of domestic bliss? Huh? How about doing celebration right like that? Wonderful, wonderful structure card. That can't be any happier than that, really. Lots of right and left-handed stuff in there, by the way. Then don't even get me started about why that little dot's up there. That's a whole nother video. Ooh, I hope you guys ask about the dots on these cards. I love it so much. How about this feeling sense and secure? Some people call this the miser card, but this is still a good place to start whenever you're coming from a really rough time. You're coming out of a time of the The Tower, trust me, this is the card that you want, is to realize that you are on solid ground and you're going to be okay. Love that 4. Look at the colors, guys. How about these 5s? 5s get a bad rap. I mean, yes, they're all about life's difficulties, but it's also about really kind of knowing yourself, knowing the strength that you have to be able to get through these times. Look at that. That's no positive thinking going on right there. This is just actually a really good card. It's just there are times to take the sorrow, you know. When it comes in reversed, remember that. It's now time to forget your mourning and get back to the stuff that's still working for you. I love that 5. Bring on the life difficulty if you want to get out of this life a brighter wattage. How about this sense of cooperation right there? How about a fire card for this? Talk about a whole bunch of activity. Good Lord, all that activity in the fire suit of doing. Love it, love it, love it. Little bit of sense of loss. This is also really cool because it's the only card with snow in it, which kind of gives you the automatic. It's not even inference. It's telling you directly that this is seasonal. You just got to hang the hell in there. This is just one of those shitty times, and that's okay. I don't mind seeing that card. People get freaked the hell out about it. How about all 6s being about communication and unequal relationships? Look at this unequal relationship here. Not that that's bad, but there's help right there, right behind you. Are you asking for help? Those secrets that you're holding, yeah, they may not be holding you back, but are they helping you? Yeah, you're getting the calmer waters, but could you get there quicker? How about the wonderful questions that this gorgeous 6 always brings up? Love it, love it, love it. Looking back with positive feelings. Look at that. Every one of these cups, it's the only cup with really all these blooming, blossom, beautiful things. Beautiful things, guys. It's a beautiful thing. Half blooming, half beautiful. You're welcome. I just made that word up. That's a great 6 right there. How about this for communication? How about sharing your victories? Actively celebrating with others, actively sharing. Look at this unequal relationship, but this is good. We all need role models. We all need people to literally look up to. I hope that that is you for your sake. This is wonderful. Just getting enough. Look at this. Just getting enough, but do you want more? Do you want more? You got to ask yourself. 7s, doing what you're doing cleverly. 7s are success and victory. Look at the colors in that. Minus the glare. Forget about the glare. I'm sorry about the glare. How interesting that he's on a platform. Have you noticed the platform cards? I could go off on the platform, so we'll keep these videos somewhat relatively short. Look at that. He's got more on his left side than he has on his right. Maybe he's a little bit more about himself than actually giving, because that's the right hand, is that traditionally giving. How curious is that? Here's a wonderful 7. Talk about a passive of the passive suit. The most passive of cups. This is the most passive card because that's really what it is to feel good when you're imagining all these things. It's a wonderful way to start a journey. You ever see this coupled up with the Fool or the Magician? You are off and running. Love the colors in that cup. Here we go. This is just keeping your head above the fray. Look at this active suit. 7, it's a victory. You know that. He's actively winning. You know, you just can't get lost in the fight. Can't get lost in the fight. Maybe that happens when you see this. I don't know. But look at the colors on that. Hope the lighting in this is okay. I'm kind of catching it in the thing here, but I think it's all right. Did a whole video on this card. How wonderful is this? To be able to manifest so beautifully, but still possibly be wanting a little bit more. Look at that left hand on top. Wanting a little bit more. Look at that expression in the face. How close can I get that so that makes sense? Look at that. You think with all of these wonderful pentacles, with all these wonderful coins, with all this manifestation, you think he'd be a little bit happier? Maybe this 7 isn't all that victorious. This kind of says to me, you got a lot, but you're kind of waiting for more, wanting more. Look at that gorgeous thing. 8, movement or the lack of movement. See, lack of movement, but there's nothing holding this chick back except her own negative thoughts. How wonderful this card is to start conversations about what are you doing to sabotage yourself. I love that card. How about this? This is the card of greener pastures. Brian Cormac Carr and I were talking about this card on one of those Two-Spirit Simon Talks in our little text messages stuff. You guys got to check out those channels, Brian Cormac Carr and Two-Spirit. All right, look at it. Everything's working fine, but there's just something missing. It's like there's a cup missing there. Maybe that cup's back there. Everything's fine, but moving on. I got this card whenever someone was asking me, should I move to Florida? Things are fine here in Los Angeles. And as I was shuffling, literally just this card came up. And I said, you know what? Yes, that cup you're looking for, is probably, most likely, don't hold me to it, but you're safe to go and find it in Florida. Gorgeous. Wine's coming to an end, activity's coming to an end. I wonder what is new. A lot of romantic implications with this card as well. But that is a whole nother video. Movement and the stopping of the action of this fiery suit of wands. Gorgeous. And what do you do whenever you're in the movement position of the suit of coins in the world? How you're being? That's just doing the work. Look at this cat right there. Look at that. Look at that cat. Totally happy, just doing his life. Love that card. I love the cards with the coins and the emblems that are kind of removed from the imagery. Oh my God, got to make a video on that. That's layered right there. 9. Whoo, what a wonderful card this is to get. Not necessarily a good thing to experience, but what a wonderful card to get. This also employs sort of a choice thing. I got this much later in my career from a dear good friend reader who just said, whenever you see this particular 9, this is sort of waffling about a decision. Of course, all 9s are the intensity, the quality of the suit, and the problems because of that intensity. And here we got sleepless nights. Probably because there's a decision that needs to be made. And it's kind of going to be ongoing there. You kind of want to see this card come in to realize that this time is short, that you're going to make the decision, it's going to end. Love that card. Wonderful conversations. How about this? This draws a lot of questions. A lot of people have a lot of hard times with this. That's why I developed that whole series, Tattooed Spirit and the Tarot. You can see my take on all these cards in much more detail. But this is just being happy, fat and happy, completely satisfied. And I wonder what that dot means right before there when you turn it over. You're going to have to watch the other video series or comment below for me to tell you, because it's too good to tell you on the video. How about this? Intensity, the quality of the suit, and the problems thereof. Whenever you find yourself doing so much more, look at these beautiful colors in there, standing on this purple platform again. Look at that. You just get sort of worn out, battle worn, but it also strengthens you, but you're holding back your heart, right? Wonderful card. To say that you're ready for something else, but maybe you're not just emotionally ready for it. It's a wonderful card of reassurance. I actually think all these cards are reassurances depending on how you decide to look at it, to reframe it. And how about this? Turning your head away from this wonderful sun to be able to get back to work, not just being like the 7 who's just is there to reap what has been sown, but also to kind of get back to work, get back to the focus, which is what that wonderful falcon's all about. That's blurring. Maybe that's just too close. But I love that sunset sky that I colored in there. Love it, love it, love it. 10 is just an abundance of the quality of the suit. This is just too much goddamn thinking. So much it's stifling you. Really, look at that. Do you really need a sword in the ear to make your point? That's just an abundance of too much of everything that you think those swords are all about. How about that? How about too much positive emotion? I think that's just such a good abundance to have, and the card recognizes that. Beautiful right and left-handedness in this. I'm definitely going to have to link that other video about that Hang 10 tag tarot that I did. Love it, love it, love it. Look at this. How about this in this suit of doing, this fire suit? How about this for doing just a little bit too much? Talked about this card as well. The coloring on that sky is just gorgeous. I want to thank Simon from Two Spirit for saying, man, you should do an unboxing of that. I'd really like to see that how you colored those cards. So thank you, Simon. I'm having a really good time. How about this? Interesting here. This is one of those cards that just have the coins sort of removed from the image. What I normally call that escapes me right now. But here you have all these blessings all over the place in this world, but no one's recognizing them. How wonderful. How curious. What a wonderful suggestion is like start looking around and seeing all these things all around you. Also in the pattern of the tree of life. That's a series of videos right there. I love it. All right, then we get into these gorgeous court cards. I don't know why people are scared of them. I don't know why people don't read them or read them in reverse, because they just offer magnificent messages. How about right there? Caution. Use your thoughts just before you get started in that page. All pages are about just getting ready to get going in the quality of that suit. So before you really begin to think in a way that's going to move you or to make you feel a certain way, just be a little bit cautious. Look at this. Look at that. Use your imagination before you get into the fullness of the suit of this wonderful cup Just use your imagination. Create something new. There's a blue fish in that cup. That's crazy. I love it. How about this? In this suit of action and movement and fire element, we have this fantastic page. Just before you kind of get going, before you get to the night stage, just be eager. Just be eager. Like this guy. He just can't wait to get going. He can't wait to get going. I talked about this in that left-handedness. Why is that left hand higher than the right? Watch the tag and you'll know. Gorgeous. How about this? Just study. Just study. Before you get into the state of being with this wonderful coin suit, you just got to study. You got to prepare what that guy's doing. On my deck, until I find the right artist, I have this guy, his foot on a book, like using the book to always tell you, just kind of get prepared before you find yourself in a state of being. Here we have all the knights, these wonderful, well, we could obviously talk about the horses, the different stances of the horses, but just as far as the coloring, let's admire those, and let's admire that this is the quality of this suit in action with courage and the sense of fast movement, right? Courage. How about this? This passive, this is this wonderful divine dichotomy where you have the most active member of the court in the most passive suit, right? We call this introspection because that's the most active thing you can do just with your emotions as to how you feel whenever you just imagine. That's what this cat's doing right there. And if you notice, if you look closely, look, he's looking right. Oh, he's not looking at his cup. He's looking past it. You can get deep with that with clients, I assure you. How about this wonderful sense of just adventure? Isn't that what the knight court position is with this gorgeous suit of doing? This fire is just adventure. Just get to hell to it. Right hand on that wand. Look at that. You may notice my little symbols here, the fire and in the air, I mean, all the knights are the air, and that's a whole different thing. I talk about it in my series, but that's going to really give you good clues about how to interpret this cards. But that, you want to think about adventure and going and positive and all the wonderful things about that. How about right there? I love that. Positively love that. This is just doing the work of being in your world. Just doing the work. What a nice solid figure of this being pentacle or being coin suit of the earth. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Queens of the Masters. I talk incessantly about this. We're going to make that really, really quick. A queen turns all wisdom from sorrow. Look at this. Here's the Queen of Cups. Pure dedication. Look at the most beautiful cup in the entire deck. Of course the queen would be holding it. Of course. And whenever you're in the mastery of the feeling suit of cups, what is that? It can't be anything other than the dedication of life, the feeling of really appreciating it. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And when you're the master of the suit of doing, it's just the love of doing it. This is the love of life. Cheat. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Don't get me started on the black cats. How about this? Being in nature. Look at that. All queens of the cups are the water. This is the earth suit of pentacles or coins. Water and earth go together like peanut butter and chocolate. As far as I'm concerned, there's no better pairing. That's why that's just the nature, just being the world. And of course we have the kings. Hope you're noticing the coloring, guys. I worked my ass off on this, but even though I had a good time. How about this? The authority. Swords not straight up and down, just tilted a little bit to the right because you notice that there's action involved. There's action. That's what the kings are all about. The kings are all about the fire position. This is in the air position right there. Air and fire go together to really give you authority. You can see too much authority to the king would be not so great, right? Oh, this is one of my favorite kings right here. This is channeling your creativity, being the role of the king, but yet still trying to reach for that aspect of you that is so un-king-like. A lot of conflict with this card, but it's excellent information. Excellent information. It's a nice pink sky. Tried to make that a pink sky. Wrapping up right here. Almost wrapping up. The King of Wands. Talk about confident. Talking about the confident king. That wand being held really to the far right. Huh? Gorgeous. Like that action suit. That's a double fire. That's a double fire. That's a fire. That's a fire. That's the king, and that's the suit of wands. Talk about confidence, almost to the bordering of arrogance. You might actually see my cheats on some of these cards because this is what we help teach. We teach with cheats. Look at this. pentacles. This is just a signal of wealth, right? Because if you're in the world, if you're in this pentacle suit, and if you're, the rolling of it, then you're just soaked up in the wealth of it. Just general wealth. Fantastic. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly had a great time. These are my little minis. This is so much easier to handle, small ones. And I'm really happy that they really kind of look exactly like the ones on the top. So I hope you had a great time with this video. My little friend Skull says, thanks for hanging out. And yeah, man, I welcome your comments. I just have fun doing these videos. And I hope you get something out of it, as well as enjoy the images of the cards. So I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.